Several days ahead of schedule on their road to recovery. WFF 48's Nick Law has been there since this tornado dropped on Wednesday. Nick, there's still plenty of work to do out there, though.
And Kim, here's a familiar sight if you remember back to Hurricane Katrina. These signs like this on houses. Let's explain what this means. You see the number 2 here. This is team number 2 visited on April 28th. And the zeros here, the top 0 here stands for 0 people injured inside this house and 0 people killed. So obviously a very successful story here. But this is the only house left on this block. Here's their family room. You can walk right inside now from the damage that this tornado left. And let's just give you an example of what is all going on out here with all the nails and all the destruction. This is what people are dealing with. Nails sticking out of just about everything out here, all of the debris. That's what rescue workers are dealing with, volunteers, people just trying to drop off water and stuff like that. We're going to head over to another home, though. This is the home right next door, and this is more of an example of what we are seeing in Phil Campbell, and that's really just the slab left. You can see no walls remaining here, stuff blown all over the place. In this case, we found some Christmas lights just laying here on the ground, and we're going to talk about these items that we're finding here on the ground in just a second. We want to bring you, though, across the street and kind of show you an example of how some of these people out in this area survived. We have cords just about everywhere trying to show you all these examples out here in Phil Campbell, but this is what's left of someone's storm shelter. This is all that's left of that area. A couple people crawled up inside there just to make sure that they could make it through the storm. There's nothing left. Mark, if you could just pan up and show some of the vehicles in this yard, nothing left in this area, but this is kind of all we're seeing. You see some of the devastation out there in the background. I realize it's dark out here, but one problem they are still having out in Franklin County is looters. Now, we talked to the Phil Campbell police chief about that problem. Take a listen at what he had to say.
I have talked with our district attorney here in Franklin County. I've also talked with an agent from the Attorney General's office, and both assured me that if we catch someone looting, that they will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. We will do our very best to make an example out of them for the other people to see that this is definitely something that we're not going to tolerate.
And again, that's the Phil Campbell police chief there, Merrill Potter. Want to talk about another developing situation out here, and that's the water situation. A lot of water coming back on, along with electricity to areas of Phil Campbell that weren't as devastated at this. We can tell you tonight that ADEM was out here earlier testing the water. Those tests will come back in a couple days. At this point, officials telling us if you don't feel like you should, if you don't feel safe drinking that water, go ahead and boil it, although we've also been told by several people over at the command center in downtown Phil Campbell that they've been drinking the water and they haven't had any health concerns at all. So it's kind of a drink at your own risk at this point. We're going to stay on top of that to make sure that this water out here is, in fact, safe to drink in Phil Campbell and the rest of Franklin County. In the meantime, reporting live in Phil Campbell, Nick Law, WAFF 48 News.
All right.